Against the backdrop of Putin's visit to China, Russia has ramped up its attacks, specifically targeting Kherson. 3 Russian aerial bombs struck a residential neighborhood in Kherson. 18 people were reported injured, with 3 in serious condition being treated at the hospital. Authorities reported damage to 8 high-rise buildings, 5 private homes, a medical facility, and 2 schools.
It landed right in the room. I was just standing on the balcony, and it falls on top of me.
Ukrainian forces have withdrawn from some parts of the northeast and are engaged in battles with Russian troops in other areas. President Volodymyr Zelensky's decision to postpone all upcoming foreign trips underscores the severity of the threat his soldiers face. Amid this grim situation, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken visited Ukraine to reassure them of continuing American support, announcing a $2 billion arms deal, with most of the funding from a package approved last month.
We will provide an additional $2 billion in foreign military financing for Ukraine. And we put this together in a first-of-its-kind defense enterprise fund. And it has 3 components. One is to provide weapons today, so this will assist Ukraine in acquiring those weapons. 2 is to focus as well on something that Dmytro just talked about, investing in Ukraine's defense industrial base, helping to strengthen even more its capacity to produce what it needs for itself, but also to produce for others. And finally, using this fund to help Ukraine purchase military equipment from other countries, not just the United States.
Russia is opening new fronts to stretch Ukraine's army, which faces shortages of ammunition and manpower along the approximately 1,000-kilometer, 620-mile front line, hoping Ukraine's defenses will crumble. Russian artillery and sabotage raids have also been troubling Ukraine's northern Chernihiv and Sumy regions. The US and other allies have increased their aid deliveries to Ukraine amidst the intensified Russian offensive. Zelenskyy expressed gratitude for the support, but emphasized the urgent need to expedite the delivery of forthcoming aid.
We need to significantly speed up the supply process. Currently, the time gap between the announcement of packages and the actual appearance of weapons on the front line is too large. It is important to make the implementation of decisions and logistics more efficient. I am grateful to each of the partners who understands this and really tries to help.
Zelensky's office announced Wednesday that he has cancelled all upcoming foreign visits and will try to reschedule them. He was expected to visit Spain and possibly Portugal later this week. No specific reason was given for his decision, but the challenges on the front line likely influenced it. Last year, China offered a broad plan for peace, outlining general principles for ending the war in Ukraine, but did not provide specifics on how Beijing might engage with both sides of the conflict. The United States and Western allies are closely monitoring Russian President Vladimir Putin's 2-day visit to China. They have criticized the defense ties between Russia and China, accusing them of fueling the Russia-Ukraine war. In talks with Putin, China's President Xi Jinping stated that a political solution to the Ukraine crisis is the right direction. Xi reiterated China's hope for a peaceful and stable Europe and committed to playing a constructive role.
Both sides agreed that a political solution to the Ukraine crisis is the right direction. China's position on this issue has been consistent and clear. This includes abiding by the purposes and principles of the United Nations Charter, respecting the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all countries, and respecting the reasonable security concerns of all parties, and building a balanced, effective, and sustainable new security framework. China hopes for the early return of Europe to peace and stability, and will continue to play a constructive role toward this.
Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin expressed gratitude to Xi Jinping for China's initiatives to resolve the Ukraine conflict during their summit in Beijing on Thursday.
We have agreed with President Xi Jinping to discuss in detail the entire range of foreign policy agenda at an informal meeting this evening. Of course, for my part, I informed the leader of the People's Republic of China about the situation that is developing around the Ukrainian crisis. We are grateful to our Chinese friends and colleagues for the initiatives they are putting forward to resolve this problem.
China has had significant influence as a key supporter of Russia since its invasion of Ukraine. It continues to supply Russia with essential components for weapon production, and its purchase of Russian oil and gas has bolstered the Russian economy. Prior to their remarks on the Russia-Ukraine ongoing conflict, the two leaders signed a joint statement on deepening the comprehensive strategic partnership between their nations. Xi stated that China and Russia will continue to uphold a stance of non-alliance and non-confrontation.